So what is going on, guys? Prince93 here with another quick video, and this is going to be my 1 week living with the Brydge Keyboard 12.9 inch for the iPad Pro as my only case keyboard solution for my iPad Pro. And before we start this video, I am collabing with Average Tech Guy for a giveaway for an 11 inch and a 12.9 inch iPad Pro keyboard case. So today I'm going to announce the 5 finalists, and then I'll let you guys know what you guys have to do. So real quick, I'm actually going to just pull it up here. The 5 finalists are iTech, Diane Fields, Brian D'Amico, Alicio Arturia, and It's Just Nick V. So those are the 5 finalists. Make sure to shoot me an email below, and then in a following video, probably by the end of this week, I'll announce the final winner of who's going to win the Brydge Keyboard for your iPad Pro, and we'll get in contact that way. So thank you so much for everybody we had a bunch of comments on the Brydge Keyboard case initial review. So now this is going to be my 1 week with the iPad Pro Brydge Keyboard case. So I want to get a couple things out of the way. I want to get the negatives out of the way about this keyboard case, because I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it a lot more than I anticipated. But again, I'm just going to talk about the small things that I didn't like about it. So the first thing is the actual weight of this thing. So yeah, this thing it's kind of heavy. It pretty much doubles the weight of the actual iPad Pro, especially for the 12.9 inch. And it does pretty much weigh the same as a MacBook Pro would, a 13 inch MacBook Pro would weigh. But again, I'm not really carrying this thing in my hand too often. It's usually at a desk, and when I am traveling with it, it's in a backpack, in a bag. It's very rare that I have it in my hand, and at no point am I like, oh man, this thing is too heavy, I can't use it, or I don't want to carry it. You know, it's not like it's 50 pounds. The thing is 2.5 pounds, or I think a little over 2.5 pounds when you all said and done with the leather casing on the back. Another negative would have to be the actual protection of the case. If this thing falls on anything, you're gonna get some dents. Luckily I had no issues, but again, as you guys can see, there's no side protection, no corner protection, and the added weight actually makes it a little bit worse, because if it does drop, there's more weight hitting the ground when it comes to the actual iPad Pro, and you will get a dink or a scratch or something like that along those lines. So yes, in terms of, protection as an actual case, this is not the way to go. If you're looking for something that's gonna be rugged, it's gonna cover all the corners, if you drop it, it's going to be okay. This is not going to be the case for you. If anything, it makes it worse if you do drop it, because of the added weight and the fact that there is no protection on any of the corners, any of the sides. And if it wasn't for the leather backing, there would be no protection on the back, which is how they used to be, actually. So that was a nice little touch, and it's included. It's not an accessory that you have to buy, which is nice. And then thirdly, it comes to the Apple Pencil. If you guys can see, the Apple Pencil's kind of just chilling there, so there's no protection or no extra handle to keep this in place. So I would say this Apple Pencil, it falls off the iPad every time it's in my bag. So yes, when I take the iPad out with the case on it, I eventually have to go digging for the Apple Pencil. But again, no big deal. Price, right? So price is $170 for the 12.9 inch, and I think it's about $150 for the 11 inch. And yes, most third-party cases are cheaper. Most third-party cases are in the $100 to $130 range. And then you have the Apple keyboard case, which is $190. In terms of finish and build quality, sure, it's worth it. In terms of protection and actually covering and acting as a case for your iPad, no. There are more protective cases that also have a functional Bluetooth keyboard that you can go with that's cheaper than that $170 mark. And then the last negative about this thing is the give back, right? So I did not enjoy using my Apple Pencil with this keyboard case, because every time I went to go do an input, the screen wobbles, if you guys can see that. So it does wobble, and it did kind of get in the way. So I use my Apple Pencil to create my YouTube thumbnails, and I did end up having to take the iPad off of the case to be able to get an accurate, representation or an accurate point, and actually drawing and doing what I need to do on those images to make the thumbnail. It was not comfortable when it came to that. Now let's talk about the positives, guys. The positive, right off the bat, this keyboard is great. It reminds me of the MacBook Pro 2015 before they changed to that butterfly keyboard. The chiclet style is awesome, very clicky. I love the fact that it's backlit. It's very easy to type on. I saw myself enjoying answering comments from you guys in the YouTube Studio app using this keyboard a lot, and it's great for on your lap. It's a lot better. This is the best lappable keyboard case that I've found so far, because it does really act like a MacBook, guys. I did enjoy it. As long as you don't go past like a crazy angle, the keyboard will stay up, because these hinges are very, very strong. So another good thing about this is the actual build quality. The build quality is very solid. It's all aluminum. Right, it does remind you of a MacBook Air. My wife actually, I handed this to her because she wanted to watch Netflix while I did something else, and she went like this, thinking there'd be a trackpad here because she thought it was a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air or something like that. It does fit very well with the whole Apple ecosystem and the Apple design language, for lack of a better term, and I did enjoy it in that aspect. Another great thing is the fact that it charges via USB-C. So again, all you need to do is carry one cord and you can charge all your devices. And if it does run low on battery, you can actually plug it directly into your iPad Pro, which is nice. But again, the battery life on this thing is amazing. It does show up in your battery indicator. So as you can see, 54%. I have not charged this thing. You're supposed to get up to 90 days of battery life with this. I have not charged it a single time and it's still running great. And then also the shortcuts, right? Apple keyboards do not have shortcuts on the actual keyboard itself. You have to like learn a combination of buttons in order to get those shortcuts done. And they all work. You know, the brightness works. You have the 3 different levels of actual keyboard brightness, the pause, play, forward, back buttons, volume, which do work. You can lock the device, which is nice. You can unlock it. And overall, it's a great solution. The Bluetooth connectivity is fine. You do have to remember, you have to press it once to wake it up, and then the second time you press the button is when the actual Bluetooth connects. So just keep that in mind. But overall, it's a solid product. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I'll be 100% honest. I do recommend this for somebody that is using it at their desk, is using it on their lap, who's not really using their iPad as a drawing device, right? This is an amazing keyboard for that person. If you're using it to design, and you want to keep the keyboard on, no, because the keyboard doesn't flip back, which is kind of annoying. You have to take it off, flip it over, put it back on, and then fold it flat. So that's one thing I do like about the Apple keyboard. You kind of just like unfold it all and still use it as a tablet when you're drawing and doing what you need to do. But other than that, the last thing I'm going to put a little B-roll actually is that it does remain relatively thin, guys. It stays thin, it looks pretty, it does align pretty perfectly if you do it correctly, which takes a little bit of time to actually line it up perfectly. And you definitely want to use the back panel to kind of help you line it up. And then also, it's a very subtle thing, but when you open it up all the way, it lifts the keyboard a little bit, which makes the typing experience just that much better. It's a lot less flat, even though it is probably like not even a centimeter in height of how much it rises the keyboard. Overall, it does help out the experience. So for $170, like I said, if you're not using your tablet to draw on as a designer, as a creative like that, then this is perfect. And also it gives you versatility because it is a Bluetooth keyboard, so you can pop this off, put it on a dock, and still use this keyboard with this iPad, which is nice. So overall, $170, it's hard to complain. They tried to tackle as much as they could without making it super bulky. It does fit perfectly into the whole aesthetic of Apple. It does add more functionality than the Apple keyboard, just adds a little bit of weight. And in terms of protectiveness, the Apple keyboard doesn't do much more, if anything. That's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said, the giveaway finalists, please email me, and then myself and your average tech guy will decide on the final winner. So until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully this helps somebody out to make a decision. I'll leave it in the description below if you guys want to pick it up. It would really help the channel out. And until next time, peace.